Q2 marching towards history.
Winning takes what it takes, so we prepare for every game like we want to win it, and then we get to the playoffs, it's the same.
The Cats tip off at the big dance in just minutes, hoping to shoot their way into the record books. Plus, worries about being caught in the crossfire.
You just hope you can do the best you can as a parent, but having that direct exposure is hard.
Neighbors on edge as more shots are fired in the area where a 12-year-old boy was recently found dead. The MTN 430 news starts right now. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us on this Wednesday. I'm Russ Riesinger. March Madness is here. The Montana State Bobcats are aiming for their first NCAA tournament win in school history. They tip off in just a few minutes from now with a play-in game against Grambling State, the third straight appearance for the Bobcats in the tourney. The odds makers putting Montana State as a 4-point favorite. MTN's Grace Lawrence gets us ready for the action.
Grambling State is making their first NCAA tournament appearance as a program, and like MSU, has caught fire in their streak of games leading up to March Madness.
Won 9 of their last 10 games. They have a veteran backcourt that is very dynamic, and Dozier and Moten, and so they very much know who they are, and they're well tested. You know, they played a lot of high major opponents in the non-conference, and you learn a lot about yourself in those scenarios.
The Bobcats also have a solid veteran backcourt led by Big Sky Tournament MVP and reigning Defensive Player of the Year for the conference, Robert Ford III.
You know, I feel like we have a lot of weapons. You know, there's a lot of people on our team that can show up any given day. So, you know, me knowing that we have that, it helps.
Maintaining the strong culture of the Montana State program, one that has led them to 3 straight NCAA tournament appearances, was stressed when Logie took over the program last season as head coach.
The fabric of Montana State basketball was something that we wanted to hold on to, and that's what I would hope America would see tomorrow night, is just kind of the chip on your shoulder, you know, blue collar mentality that this group has. You know, we are in the middle of, you know, a golden era of Montana State athletics and Bobcat basketball in particular.
I think it has to do everything with culture. You know, it starts from, you know, administration and the way, you know, that they have hired the last 2 coaches, and the visions that both of them had, and the way that they helped us, you know, execute their plan. And you know, thankful for us, it's been, you know, 3 really good years.
Junior forward Brian Garacki came with Logie from Point Loma this offseason. He explained how they maintained the process to win at such a high level in March.
Well, the process never changed. You know, winning takes what it takes, so we prepare for every game like we want to win it, and then we get to the playoffs, it's the same. It's the same. Same scout, same prep, same everything. You know, just try to win the game.
Again, a victory would be the first in school history after losing in their 5 previous trips to the big dance. Meanwhile, the Montana Grizzlies have 2 tournament wins in their 12 trips to the tournament. Their first victory coming in 1975, 69-63 over Utah State, with their most recent victory coming in 2006 as a number 12 seed. That year, they defeated Nevada 87-79 before falling to Boston College 2 days later. Well, it was another beautiful spring day outside, but those warm temperatures won't be hanging around for long, with chances of snow moving back into the forecast over the next few days. With more on that, here's meteorologist Jason Stiff.
On this Wednesday afternoon, I'm high atop the Rim Rocks overlooking Billings. Now, earlier today, we had a lot of clouds all over central and eastern Montana. We've broken through a little bit more sunshine, but despite that sunshine, it is significantly cooler in the eastern third to eastern half of Montana compared to the way it was 24 hours ago. A lot of places between 15 and 25 degrees cooler, and we have even bigger cool downs coming our way. We've had areas of snow with temperatures in the 20s and 30s in far northeastern Montana. In those 20s and 30s, we'll be moving further to the south and west toward the Magic City. Ed's going to have your 7-day forecast with all of the complete details in a few minutes.
A 19-year-old person of interest in the shooting death of 12-year-old Andy Paul Beartusk Martinez remains in jail right now on unrelated charges. That's according to Billings Police Lieutenant Matt Lennick, but as of now, that person's name has not been released. However, with him behind bars, the house in the 900 block of Terry Avenue where the incident occurred continues to be a magnet for crime. This time, reports of vandalism where 2 people broke out windows at the home. As our Charlie Kleps reports, it's a continuing situation that has nearby neighbors on edge.
It was on this property where the body of 12-year-old Andy Paul Beartusk Martinez was found. And as you can see now, there's broken windows covering the front of the house in what police say is retribution. And that has many residents in the area concerned as to what will happen next.
No one knew for several hours.
It's been an unpredictable last week for residents in the 900 block of Terry Avenue.
I looked outside and I saw the two unmarked, and then my kids are like, there's police cars outside.
What began with a heavy police presence last Friday ended with the discovery of Martinez's body hidden in a shed.
You know, it kind of puts you in like a brain fog because I've got 3 kids. This happened 2 houses down. None of us were aware.
And that has residents in the area like Asia Huck on high alert. This memorial was placed basically in her front yard, just a few doors down from where Martinez's body was found.
They respectfully asked, you know, if they could put it there, and my husband said, yes, of course.
A situation Huck had no problem with at first, but now it's been causing problems, with all types of people coming to the neighborhood.
Good, bad intentions, whatever it may be, it still puts me in an uncomfortable position. You know, I'm kind of fearful of everybody that comes by.
Around 1 a.m. Tuesday morning, Huck and other neighbors' concerns quickly turned to fear.
So I woke up and then I heard something, and I was like, God, that sounded like a gunshot. Yeah, I just saw 2 figures. I mean, it was dark out, and they were wearing like black hoodies, and I saw a pistol in one of their hands.
The 2 opened fire on the home where Martinez's body was found, shattering several windows. Fortunately, no one is currently staying in the home. Terry called 911, but by the time the police arrived, the suspects were gone.
Seeing police officers at this point is kind of like scary, frustrating, overwhelming, because we don't know what's going to happen next.
A tumultuous week that some fear could lead to even more violence.
It's just scary. It's like I don't want to put my kids outside with all of this going on because I don't know if the wrong person's going to cross the path in anger right now.
I know there's quite a bit of crime in Billings, but it's definitely touches home.
In Billings, Charlie Kleps, MTN News.
Rockies' leading rusher, Zaire Wilcox, has been suspended from all college activities following an off-campus incident resulting in an arrest. Wilcox, a junior from Florida, has been charged with felony assault with a weapon, along with 2 other misdemeanors. According to Billings Police Lieutenant Lennick, the incident happened early yesterday morning around 1 a.m. He says officers were called because Wilcox was refusing to allow the victim to leave, threatening to kill them and others. It was alleged that he armed himself with a knife at some point in that disturbance. Wilcox ran for 602 yards last season, scoring 5 touchdowns for the Bears. His bio is no longer listed on the school's website. He's the 2nd Rocky athlete to face legal troubles in the past year, as a ski team member was suspended last October after being charged with rape in Bozeman. Well, yesterday, the Supreme Court kicked an argument over a Texas immigration law back to the courts. That decision allowed the law to immediately go into effect. But that reprieve lasted only a few hours. Natalie Brandt has more details from Washington, D.C.
Texas law enforcement for now cannot detain migrants suspected of entering the country illegally after an appeals court paused a new state law while it hears arguments on the matter today.
Texas has decided that we are at the epicenter of this crisis. We are on the front line. And we are going to do something about it.
Texas Senate Bill 4 would not only allow state authorities to make arrests, but it could allow state judges to issue deportation orders.
This is the first time it seems to me that a state has claimed that they have the right to remove illegal aliens.
Sheriff Martin Cuellar of Webb County, Texas, says he has concerns.
We're not immigration officers, and we have to get trained to make sure that we are following the rule of the law.
Attorney Kathleen Bush Joseph with the Migration Policy Institute says she's worried about confusion on the ground and the legal precedent it could set.
Talk about what you think the implications of this bill could be if it were to take effect.
This would absolutely be a sea change for over a century. The Supreme Court has upheld the principle that the federal government sets immigration policy.
While the fight plays out in the courts, Mexico's government has already said it will not accept under any circumstances people deported by the state of Texas. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
Well, tucked away along the Yellowstone River, the Montana Audubon Center organizes a variety of outdoor education programs. The Learning Hub hosted a recent outdoor excursion excursion, where, as our Marcus Kokova reports, people from all over the country celebrated a love for owls and the outdoors.
Serenity.
It helps us to slow down, to take a step away from our busy lives and to connect with a bigger thing than just our, the things that we do every day.
Easily found at Billings, Montana's Audubon Center.
It's our ponds and the birds. We have a lot of wildlife. 22 years ago it was a gravel pit. We're kind of proud of that because it's turned into something. It's a real gem, and I think a real hidden gem.
It's definitely a largely environmental education focus here. We're just trying to bridge and build that relationship between people and nature.
Because learning from a book or video will only take you so far.
Sometimes we think of nature as this thing that's really far away and we're not involved with it.
Wildlife, sometimes seen as in our backyard, is everywhere. What are you looking at there?
Beaver?
It's a beaver, that now.
What do you think about that?
I think it's awesome. We have raccoons and skunks, and we have fox out here and coyotes every now and then.
But one animal,
I've heard him out in the woods hooting at night,
prefers to go unseen.
We call it the owl prowl.
We're gonna go out and play some eastern screech owl morning calls and try to see if we can find any owls while we're out walking around.
With a little stillness, a little silence, and a lot of patience. You'll notice unseen doesn't imply unheard. 15 documented species of owls. Staples of Montana's outdoors, their whistles, hisses, shrieks, signatures of our concealed birds of prey.
Unfortunately, it got a little bit dark, so we couldn't really get many good photographs.
This is an incredible animal.
Marcus Kokova, MTN News.
Still to come on the MTN 430 News here on Q2, hitting the links. One Columbus golfer takes to the course this spring, driving for a state title. We'll meet our athlete of the week in just a bit. But first, pretty nice outside, but some winter-like changes are on tap. Ed will break them all down right after the break.